World continues to grapple with coronavirus pandemic. Situation further worsens in Italy. 743 deaths recorded in a single day. In France, the death toll rises by 240, while over 600 deaths recorded from US. Leaders from the group of 20 major economies to convene a video conference tomorrow to discuss COVID-19. Hello, you're watching DD News and I'm Preeti presenting the bulletin. Our top story first. The centre has asked state governments to deploy additional medical facilities and fiscal resources for fighting COVID-19. Let us take a look at the latest data regarding the spread of coronavirus in India. The total number of active cases of COVID-19 in India has risen to 512, while the total number of positive cases in India is 562. 9 deaths have been reported due to coronavirus in the country. 40 people undergoing treatment have been cured and have been discharged from hospitals. The highest number of cases have been reported from Maharashtra and Kerala. 102 positive cases were reported from Maharashtra, while 109 cases were reported from Kerala. Tamil Nadu has recorded its first death due to coronavirus outbreak. A 54-year-old man infected with the virus died at Rajaji Government Hospital in Madurai in the early hours today. State Health Minister C. Vijayabhaskar said that the man had a medical history of prolonged illness with uncontrolled diabetes, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease with hypertension. On Tuesday, the total number of COVID-19 cases in the state rose to 18 after 6 more people, including 3 women, tested positive for the virus. The supply of essential goods is normal in various states, including the Union Territories. Shops of essential goods like milk are open and the people are buying items of daily needs. Yesterday, we saw the Prime Minister announce a lockdown of the entire nation for 21 days, but items of daily needs are being made available to the people, not forgetting the norm of social distancing that has to be followed by the people when they're out of their homes on the streets buying the essential commodities. Precautions have to be taken by the people to ensure they stay safe and also people around them stay safe. And up next, we share with you visuals from Lucknow. People are following the social distancing norm while buying milk from a mother dairy booth. People abiding by the Prime Minister's call yesterday for isolation and social distancing in order to keep themselves safe. People in Bengaluru are following the social distancing amidst the lockdown. Some videos are shared where people are seen practicing social distancing, and these videos have been uploaded on social media. And people in Gujarat are also following social distancing amid lockdown. Some videos are again shared on social media, which show how people are abiding by the call which has been given by the Prime Minister. And Festival of Navratri begins today. Amid complete lockdown, prayers were offered in closed doors in Ma Durga temples. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted people on festivals, most of which mark the beginning of the new year, and said on this Navratri that he will pray for those engaged in combating coronavirus. In a series of tweets, he greeted people on Ugadi, Gudi Padwa, Navre and Sajibu Chairoba. In a tweet, he said, and I quote him, "We are celebrating various festivals across India and also the start of a new year as per our traditional calendar. Greetings on Ugadi, Gudi Padwa, Navre and Sajibu Chairaba. May these auspicious occasions bring good health, happiness and prosperity in our lives. We are marking these festivals at a time when our nation is battling the COVID-19 menace. Celebrations will not be like they are usually, but they will strengthen our resolve to overcome our circumstances. May we keep working to fight COVID-19 together." And Ministry of Home Affairs has issued guidelines of effective measures and details of availability of essential services during this 21-day lockdown. In his address to the nation, Prime Minister had announced a nationwide lockdown for 21 days, and the guidelines say that there are certain organizations will remain shut. These are the offices of the Government of India, Union Territories, state governments, private offices, commercial and private establishments will remain shut. Added to this, factories, industries, transport services, all air, rail, roadways and cab services will not ply. Hospitality services, educational, training, research institutions, religious places will remain closed. However, the facilities which will be operational are hospitals, dispensaries, chemist shops, clinics, labs, banks, ATMs, public utilities, which include petrol pumps, CNG, LPG, gas retail pumps, and also shops selling food items, groceries, milk, fruits and vegetables will remain open. Also, when we talk of other services, police, home guard, civil defense, private security, fire and emergency services, added to that, post offices will also remain open. Print and electronic media will be operational, and delivery of essential goods will continue through e-commerce, warehousing service. Added to that, hotels, lodges and homestays will also be functional. There are more guidelines for the lockdown. All social, political, cultural, sports, entertainment, academic, religious gatherings shall be barred. Organizations and employers open must ensure social distancing for the employees, and necessary precautions have to be taken against COVID-19. In funerals and congregation of not more than 20 persons will be allowed, and people violating these containment measures will be liable to be proceeded under legal actions. And also, when we talk of the other guidelines, the Delhi government has also issued guidelines for the lockdown due to COVID-19 and its containment. As the 21 days nationwide lockdown has begun from today, the interstate borders of Delhi with its neighbouring states have also been sealed in order to facilitate smooth and uninterrupted operations of the essential services. The standard operating procedures have been issued by the government. Also, for unhindered supply of essential goods and services at ground, the Ministry of Home Affairs has asked the states to set up a 24/7 control room or offices with helplines at state and district level to address any grievance or undue problems faced by the providers of goods and services, including during the interstate movement. And as we told you, the Delhi government has also enlisted some of the important points. The e-pass will be issued for people coming from outside Delhi by district magistrates. The applicants can apply for e-pass on WhatsApp or on this mail ID. Also, as we told you, 24/7 control room will be monitored by the divisional commissioner. And the nodal officers at interstate border checkpoints to be available 24/7 at all entry points into Delhi. And these are the services which will remain open throughout the 21-day lockdown. And we repeat, the shops selling food items, groceries, milk booths, fruits and vegetables, animal fodder, cold storage, these will remain open. Added to that, Municipal bodies, electricity, water, sanitation, and also print and electronic media will be functional. And also activities related to functioning of Legislative Assembly of Delhi will be in progress. The Pay and Accounts Office will also function. E-commerce services, banks, ATMs, public utilities enlisted here will be functional throughout the lockdown. Added to that, medical facilities will be provided by hospitals, dispensaries, labs, pharmacies, clinics, and chemists will be open. Takeaways and home delivery will be allowed in restaurants. Internet and postal services will be operational. And the SEBI-regulated stock market will be also functional. Also, a batch of 277 people evacuated from coronavirus-hit Iran arrived at Jodhpur airport in Rajasthan early today. Defense officials and preliminary screening of the evacuees, mostly pilgrims, was conducted at the airport upon arrival, and thereafter they were taken to the army wellness facility set up at the Jodhpur military station. They were flown in from Iran, which has been severely affected by the deadly infection. The army, in coordination with the Rajasthan state medical authorities and civil administration, has made adequate medical and administrative arrangements to ensure comfortable stay for the evacuees and also provide them with prophylactic medical support. In the backdrop of the outbreak of COVID-19, numerous measures are being taken by the government to give relief to the workers. The Labour and Employment Ministry has issued an advisory to all states and union territories for the usage of cess fund for welfare of construction workers. As the nation enters the 21-day lockdown, RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat has urged people to undertake Sangh's work while staying indoors. He has appealed to people to follow the lockdown as per the government's orders and maintain social distancing to curb the spread of COVID-19.
आने वाले 21 दिनों तक संपूर्ण देश में 21 दिन का जो लॉकडाउन घोषित हुआ है उसका पालन करके भी अपना कार्य ठीक से हो सकता है, जिसको आजकल अंग्रेजी में सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग कहा जा रहा है, उसको ठीक यशस्वी करना यही इस युद्ध की बड़ी मार्के की बात है, जो समाज की सामूहिक जिम्मेवारी की जो कल्पना है और उनका जो सामूहिक अनुशासन है उसके आधार पर यशस्वी होती है। संघ की हमेशा शिक्षा इस सामाजिक अनुशासन का पालन करने की और राष्ट्रीय चरित्र के तकाजे से अपने जीवन में राष्ट्रहित को अनुसरण करते हुए अपने छोटे मोटे स्वार्थों को बाजू रखकर काम करने की जो आदत है वो आदत इसमें काम में आने वाली है।
And Afghanistan Ministry of Interior confirms that a group of suicide bombers have entered a religious site of Afghan Sikh community in Kabul this morning and clashes are ongoing. Afghan Sikh MP Khalsa says, based on his information, so far 4 persons have been killed and 150 Hindu and Sikh pilgrims are held hostage by the gunmen in the ongoing attack. The breaking news coming in this hour. Ramesh Ramachandran is joining us to get us more on that. Ramesh, a group of suicide bombers entered the religious site of Afghan Sikh community in Kabul. Also, we believe that some pilgrims there have been held hostage. Spell out more details.
Indeed, Preeti, unfortunately, this has come just a day after UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres appealed all the countries, organizations around the world to go in for a global ceasefire in the light of the COVID-19 crisis. And this morning, at about 7:45 a.m. Kabul time, gunmen and suicide bombers attacked a Sikh religious complex in Kabul. And when reports last came in, the battle was still ongoing with the Afghan security personnel. We don't know who the gunmen are or the suicide bombers are. No group has claimed responsibility so far. But as you mentioned, an Afghan parliamentarian, a lawmaker of Indian origin, he's a Sikh, Narendra Singh Khalsa, has told local journalists that an unidentified number of people are believed to be stuck inside the building as we speak, and at least 4 people have been killed so far. And remember, Sikhs, their number less than 300 families in Afghanistan. They're spread across the country, and they have been a target of recent attacks, including most recently in 2018, when a suicide bomber targeted the Sikh community, and this was claimed by the so-called Islamic State, which left more than a dozen people dead in the eastern city of Jalalabad.
Ramesh, has the responsibility been claimed by any outfit there?
No, Preeti, according to local Afghan media reports as well as the foreign wire agencies, no group has claimed responsibility so far for the attack. Remember, the gun battle with the security personnel is still ongoing as we speak. Reports last came in suggested that at least 4 people may have been killed in the attack, and we are still waiting for more information. But as I mentioned before, the Sikh community has been targeted in the past, including in 2018, when at least more than a dozen people were killed in Jalalabad. And remember, the talks are happening between the Afghan government and the Taliban. These talks are still being decided upon, and we are still waiting to hear from the progress made in the Afghan peace talks. And this comes just a day after, Preeti, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo visited Kabul, met with the cross-section of Afghan leadership, including President Ghani, President Ashraf Ghani, and the former Chief Executive Abdullah, and he then went on to hold talks with the Taliban in Qatar. So we are still waiting to hear from the Afghan Interior Ministry as to what is happening in Kabul as we speak.
All right, so further details are awaited. Thank you so much, Ramesh, for joining us with those details as of now. As we tell you, the breaking news coming in, Afghan Ministry has confirmed that a group of suicide bombers have entered a place of a religious site of the Sikh community in Kabul, and also 4 persons have been killed, and nearly 150 Hindu and Sikh pilgrims are held hostage there. We'll keep you updated when more details are put forth. We'll get to other news we're tracking this hour. Saudi Arabia's King Salman will chair an emergency virtual summit of the leaders from the group of 20 major economies on Thursday to discuss a global response to the coronavirus pandemic. World leaders, including Russian President Vladimir Putin, will take part in the talks, which the Kremlin said will take place by video conference. Saudi Arabia, which currently holds the G20 presidency, last week called for the virtual summit, following some criticism that the group has been slow to address the global crisis. The G20 members will be joined by leaders from other affected countries, including Spain, Jordan, Singapore, and Switzerland. Leaders from international organizations such as United Nations, World Bank, World Health Organization, and the World Trade Organization will also participate. France and China on Tuesday supported the idea, as the global toll from COVID-19 had surged close to 16,000 and over 1.7 billion people were confined to their homes. Italy reported a sharp rise in its coronavirus death toll, with 743 more victims on Tuesday, breaking a 2-day trend that had fueled hopes that the epidemic may be on the wane. The daily toll was the second highest recorded in Italy since the crisis began, but the Civil Protection Agency said that while the number of the new cases was up, the infection rate was slowing. Health officials across Italy are poring over every new piece of data to see whether 2 weeks of bans and closures have made a dent in the crisis. The harshest restrictions are theoretically due to expire today evening, although the government is all but certain to extend them in some form or weeks or even months. Italy's 743 new deaths broke 2 days of successive declines that had taken the number down to 601 on Monday. It set a world record of 793 fatalities on Saturday.
Italy has officially recorded nearly 64,000 cases of the coronavirus, but the real figure could be significantly higher, with estimates of more than 600,000. That's according to the head of the Civil Protection Agency, Angelo Borelli, who said that for every positive certified case, there could be as many as 10 non-certified cases. That would explain why the death toll in Italy is so much higher than in other badly affected countries like China and South Korea. Meanwhile, the situation situation in Spain continues to worsen. The second worst affected country in Europe after Italy. The death toll there now nearly at 2,700 after an increase of more than 500 on Tuesday. The Spanish authorities are grappling with the outbreak with the establishment of an enormous field hospital in a conference centre just outside of Milan that was the host of the COP25 climate conference at the end of last year. It's now the home of 5,500 beds to treat COVID-19 patients. An ice rink in Madrid has also been converted into a morgue. Spanish authorities are warning that the lockdown and measures that were imposed in the middle of March, when a state of emergency was declared, are likely to be extended until at least the middle of April. Lucy Hoff, DoorDash News, Brussels.
An Indian research scholar studying in Milan, city of Italy, has appealed to the people of India through a mobile video. Sharing the video, she has requested people to follow the lockdown seriously and obey the government guidelines to combat the spread of coronavirus.
My name is Sanjana. I'm from India and I'm recording this message right now from my balcony here in Milan, Italy. And I just want to tell you guys how important it is to practice social distancing at the moment. We know that the outbreak of the coronavirus has taken a toll on so many countries around the world. So many people have died, and now, today, India went on a lockdown. I think it's a brilliant move from the government, and we should follow it. Why, you ask? Because this is the only way to contain the virus.
And China is still at the risk from sporadic infections as well as those from overseas. The virus epicenter of Hubei would relax restrictions on passengers leaving the province starting from today, with the capital Wuhan set to follow in April. The move came even though the number of new infections on the Chinese mainland doubled on Monday, driven by an increase in cases traveling into the country from overseas. Mainland China reported a drop in new confirmed coronavirus cases. Now, according to the National Health Commission, all the 47 cases that were reported involved travelers arriving from abroad, and no locally transmitted infections were reported, including in central Hubei province, the epicenter of the outbreak in China. The total accumulated number of confirmed cases in mainland China stands at 81,218, with imported infections accounting for 474 cases. 600 people have died from the new coronavirus in the United States, while the number of confirmed cases now stands to almost 50,000. The U.S. has the third highest number of confirmed cases globally, behind China and Italy. Social distancing and quarantine measures have been instituted across much of the United States, bringing the world's biggest economy to an abrupt halt. Meanwhile, President Trump insisted that he wants the U.S. lockdown relaxed by mid-April, warning that keeping the measures in place could destroy the country. But many public health experts have warned that lifting the measures too soon could lead to a surge in cases and hospitals being overwhelmed amid a dire shortage of ventilators and protective gear for healthcare workers. As the situation in New York City gets worse, the mayor has warned that COVID-19 is spreading in his state faster than a bullet train. Pleading for medical supplies for the city, which already has recorded over 25,000 confirmed virus cases and at least 210 deaths, the mayor also pressed for medical supplies to be strengthened at an urgent basis. He also said that New York currently has 7,000 ventilators but needs 30,000. The state is also looking into creating more healthcare areas, possibly by turning college dormitories and hotels into makeshift hospitals. The reaction comes at a time when the World Health Organization said yesterday that the U.S. has the potential to become the new epicenter of the pandemic. Now, the mayor's warnings come as President Donald Trump said that he hoped the U.S. would reopen for business next month.
The increase in the number of cases continues unabated. As a matter of fact, the rate of increase has gone up. We have to be smarter about the way this is being done. The federal government has to prioritize the resources. Look at where the problems are across this nation. California has 2,800 cases. Washington State, 2,200 cases. Florida, 1,200 cases. Massachusetts, about 800 cases. New York has 25,000 cases. We're looking at a freight train coming across the country. We're now looking at a bullet train because the numbers are going up that quickly.
And the Union Cabinet meeting chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi is underway at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. And here, social distancing is witnessed. We share this picture with you. The call for social distancing has been repeatedly made by the government, and this is the most practical way of keeping the virus at bay. The most effective way to disrupt the chain of transmission is social distancing, as put by health experts. And in view of that, the 21-day lockdown has been announced by the Prime Minister yesterday. And up next, we get to some ways with which we can help the society in times of this pandemic. Stay home. Remember the saying, home sweet home. With that, we'll take your leave. Namaskar.